now we got the strike. We got the writer's strike. We know they're not even talking.
Right.
We got the actor's strike. Right now they're not talking, right? What brings them to the table? Is there some sort of outside event? It's probably not going to be the Emmys, right? Which is supposed to happen in September on Fox. Looks like that's going to get moved.
That's probably going to get moved. The question is sort of what and who will drive the beginning of the end of these strikes. Some people look to the talent agency heads, for example. Some news that I have from the union, Brian Lord of CAA, the head of CAA, was on the picket line in New York today and is expected back tomorrow. We will have photographs of that at some point, although we don't have them just yet for this broadcast. Meanwhile,
what does that say? Why does that matter?
Well, he is someone that, they represent wealthy talent, primarily, the people that this strike is not really about.
Yeah, like George Clooney is one of his clients.
George Clooney, for example. But they do represent talent, the talent agencies. By the same token, they have a very, a corporate orientation. They are big corporations themselves. They understand how big corporations think. And so there's the hope that those folks or certain key entertainment lawyers could serve a bridging or intermediary function. But in terms of events, as you asked, that might drive a resolution here, my fear is that it might be the same event that drove the resolution of the writer's strike 15 years ago, which was the Oscars. At that point, the strike was 100 days old. At this point, though, if we have to wait till the Oscars, we're looking at 200 plus.
Wow.
I mean, because we saw a strike here in Los Angeles in the
More than 340,000 UPS workers are preparing for a potentially historic strike.
Experts say a walkout of that magnitude could have supply chain implications and cost the U.S. economy billions of dollars. KTLA's Annie Rose Ramos live in LA's Westlake district with more on that. Annie Rose, good morning.
Frank and Jessica, good morning to you both. A rally going to get started here outside of the Olympic warehouse of UPS. You can see right there the entrance. We're expecting employees to begin walking out in the coming moments. One of them who just walked out, I want to bring in Jenny. You work inside this warehouse. Tell us a little bit more about what this strike means for you today as we walk, because we know that people are going to start gathering around the corner. So tell us first a little bit more about why you're out here.
Yeah, so we're in negotiations right now, and the last point of negotiations is part-time pay. So I'm a part-timer, and our biggest demand for this contract was to get a big raise because we've been underpaid for a long time as part-timers. So we're out here. The company has said they don't have any more money for us, so we're out here rallying basically to get support and show unity in that we are ready to strike if UPS forces us to, which is looking like it's the case because they have not given us a better offer than what they last presented.
Now, I want to go straight to a statement from UPS that we have here because they say that your union, the Teamsters representing all of your workers, have walked away from the negotiating table. Take a look at this statement right here that we have from the UPS. The UPS saying, in part, quote, the Teamsters, which is the union representing the workers, have stopped negotiating despite historic proposals that build on our industry-leading pay. We have not walked away, and the union has a responsibility.
Well, it's time to go around the horn and check in on some of the trending stories of the day. Josh Schaefer, Alexandra Canal, Press Subramanian, take it away.
Yeah, Shauna, we're taking a look at some of our favorite stories of the day over here, and I want to start with the strike and sort of the trend we're seeing in strikes. So, Allie, I know we've talked a lot about the Hollywood strike, writer strike, actor strike, but another thing we're seeing now is potential strikes that we might see across other industries, right? So it's been interesting to see there might be a strike coming for UPS, there might be a strike coming across in your industry with some of the autos. There's a funny quote in one of the articles calling it Strike Girl Summer or Hot Strike Summer or something, which I thought was Hot Strike Summer, pretty funny phrase for a not funny topic. But it's been interesting to see that sort of pick up and how maybe groups start to rally around this, right? And you see it beyond Hollywood. I feel like we've talked a lot about Hollywood and haven't necessarily broken down some of the other strikes that are happening as well.
And I think there's a strength in numbers mentality here. You become pretty emboldened once you see others going out there and fighting for certain rights. And I think that is on top of timing here. We're coming out of the pandemic where a lot of these on the company side as well have faced a heck of a lot of challenges. A lot of things were delayed because of the pandemic, particularly in Hollywood, right? These deals come around every 3 years. The last time we were having this conversation, it was...
All right. Giving all praise to Yah, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, mercy, and grace to the household of faith, the holy elect, Shalom. Okay. So, things are happening. The Fed Now program just launched officially. You have these various strikes, and you could tell we're at the calm before the storm, man. It's a lot of things happening right now, a lot of random power outages. Things are happening, and the powers to be ready to roll out to the new system, the new payment system, the new everything, where you won't have things that they've been. Everybody go to work, and no, everything is gonna be online. If there is any work, you're just gonna work from home. Robot and AI is coming to take over all of the things that most people had. That their job was to do. There's really no need for all these people. That's why great death is coming, which really that's at the hand of the Heavenly Father, right? But, like the powers that be are saying, we don't need all these people. And then you had the Kamala Harris, who mentioned, in response to climate change, population reduction. Okay, and people clapped when they said that. So this is 2nd Esdras 16 and 18. All right, verse 17, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? And we are in those days that the prophets saw, spoke about, wrote about. All right, we are in those perilous times that will be coming on the earth in the latter days, all right, before the Most High sends his son back in a glorious fashion. All right, verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. And in the last video I did, that was addressing the famine that's coming, right? We're in a time of famine coming into the earth, all right, where food is going to become scarce, okay, and people are going to be, doing any and everything to feed themselves and family. It says, in great death, okay, because there's a lack of a need for all of these people. Esau says, we got 8 billion people on the earth. You people are taking up too much carbon. You're taking up too much space. You're making the earth stinking and get hot. We don't need all y'all. We got robots. We got tech. All right. So the next step is, all right, to just start taking people out. Okay. However that happens, we're going to see. But we at the time of the beginning of great death in the earth. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, because the wars are going to be, they're going to be international. They're going to be national. They're going to be domestic. Okay, we're in a time where people are separated. They divided more now than ever. Okay. This is Isaiah 19 and 15. It says, all right, starting at 14, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt, in the midst thereof. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Now, why is there no work for Egypt? Because you have AI. Okay, simple. This technology replaces most of the things that people did. We don't need actors. All right, we have technology that can put a face on someone, that can create an image, that can make somebody out of thin air, and you watching it and you think this is a real living, breathing person that was born and raised, right? When this is just something that was computer generated, right? They can write the scripts, they can make the music. That's what they're getting you used to, AI music, all right? AI Drake. If they can take the most popular name in music and make people, just willingly accept that, hey, this is a song with this guy's voice on it, it ain't even him, and people are saying, hey man, this shit actually kind of slapping, this shit hard, I like it, then what's the use of having a real Drake? All right, we don't need songwriters, we don't need actors, we don't need movie producers. Okay, we don't need lawyers. They have artificial lawyers. Okay, we don't need painters, we don't need we don't need drivers. Cars are becoming driverless. All right, so there won't be any work for Egypt, okay? Because Esau's blessing, being a sword in the form of technology, is going to replace the people. It's going to replace the workers. And the main workforce of ancient Egypt were the Israelites. And who were the main workforce for this modern day Egypt? You Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. All right, you are replaceable, according to them, to the heathen, okay? They don't need you. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, the grinders are the workers. All right, and the grinding is beginning to cease. All right, because there's few jobs. Okay, and a lot of these protests and strikes are being staged, but people genuinely are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because matter of fact, when you get Job, when you get Job 20, I want to say 20. And 22, and you look up that word wicked, which is Amal. I'm gonna read the scripture. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay, hand, which is Yad, wicked, which is Amal, which goes into laborer, the sufferer, all right, the workman. Okay, the average person catching hell. And a lot of them are starting to see, that there's something wrong with this, man. Like, hey, man, like, shit is getting overpriced and I'm underpaid, okay? And they might come across these videos and they might hear and be like, hey, man, no, it's these elites, man. These, average everyday person gonna start calling out Edomites by name. They gonna start calling them Edomites, calling them, because you had pictures posted up in Europe of Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and all them people saying, hey man, these are the people we need their heads. We need them. Like, we need to lay hands on these people, deliver these people to us. And it's going to be more and more of that seditious type spirit, that's going to come upon this place pursuant to the prophecy. And we're going to get it real quick. 2 Esdras 15 and 15. It says, 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For men shall be sedition among men, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So sedition goes into speech or behavior, conduct that incites rebellion against authority, you see. So like, we just went into that word Amal for wicked, which is going into the laborer. All right, they're gonna be, pissed the hell off, and they're not gonna be listening to these, to the government, to the politicians, to the leaders, your so-called black leaders. Al Sharpton, they're gonna come out, and people gonna tell his ass to get the hell on, or they might try to goddamn take his ass out. Those times are here, all right? Verse 4 in Ecclesiastes 12, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. All right, these businesses are boarding up. Bed, Bath & Beyond is having store closings all over the place. I done seen 2 of those stores closing here in Atlanta. Okay. All right, more of these businesses are closing. The grinding is ceasing. It says, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and that all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, music is finished. 2 Esdras 6 and 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. A lot of these businesses, they out. All this, all these goods and products that we're used to seeing stocked up, they're going to be empty. They only have 72 hours worth of product, and people going to, panic, man. More and more of these climate emergencies, these hurricane season, which I believe, it's a major hurricanes are going to be due, with everything being as hot as it is. They got the waters out there at 90 degrees, man. And shit, that's a perfect breeding ground for some major hurricanes to pick up steam, and I'm just waiting, that's gonna displace people. People are gonna become more and more desperate, You know, they're gonna go in and take, you know, and steal stuff, take stuff they need to feed themselves, their family. And then, you know, what Esau's already doing is he's locking everything up and telling people, hey, you know, this is why we locking things up is because of theft, you know. Let's get, let me share this real quick. My brother put that up. If I can find it. Check this out. So you got the food is the actual stuff is actually chained up with locks and pads. All right, it says lock groceries in San Francisco because of theft. Next step, use the chip to open it. So your favorite stores, they're gonna be empty, and you're gonna have to go to some of these big brother, you know, chain grocery spots. You know, these Walmarts, these Walgreens, these Aldis, these Krogers. You know, they're gonna have shit locked up to where you can only access it through the chip. You see, and your chip is gonna have money on it because it ain't no job. So the people that remain alive, you know, you pretty much gonna get a universal basic income. You know, based upon your good behavior. You know, how well you submit and follow. All right, the unrighteous decrees and ways of the New World Order, and they're gonna put, you know, digital money on your chip, and then with that, that's gonna be programmed to you being able to get certain food and, you know, certain things that they tell you that money or those funds are allotted for, and that's what you have to get. See, so I'll read that again. 2 Esdras 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And I'm gonna end on this because I gotta go. But this is 1 Thessalonians 5, because in the midst of all this chaos that's getting ready, well, it's already happening, but in the midst of this, you know, the solution of the powers that be, you know, their peace and safety is gonna be that chip in these smart cities and, you know, AI. All right, but that's gonna lead to the destruction. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman and child, and they shall not escape. All right, these Edomites are not going to escape the judgment that's written in the Bible, because they're doing exactly what the Bible said they would be doing, just like all of us are doing what the Bible said we would be doing. Okay, so when these powers that be, okay, bring all of this chaos, and through their chaos bring their order, okay, and then they're gonna present it as peace and safety to the people. A lot of people are gonna fall for it. They're gonna be deceived, all right, and they're gonna think that, okay, we did it, you know, this is it, and then that sudden destruction is gonna come, okay, because as the scripture says, when he shall fill his belly, all right, Job 20, then shall the Most High cast him down. Job 20:23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So while he's enjoying the fruits of this, you know, this labor that they've been doing for this New World Order, you know, the Most High is going to cast it down. You know, he's going to allow them to, you know, eat off of it for a little bit, and then the Most High is going to put an end to that shit. He's going to dead it, right? Verse 24, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of the steel shall strike him through. All right, they're going to hide from the missiles, from the destruction. They're going to hide from the chariots, from the Lord, okay? And then Yahushua and the elect going to goddamn go dig in these holes and round their ass up and put these devils in captivity, see? So I got to go. I'm going to close in my prayer. Was edifying? Shalom.